Yes, Unbreakables, and welcome to what will hopefully be another game-changing training, and one that I believe is so important to each and every one of us, not necessarily related to any area of physical health and mental health, but life as a whole. So whether it's our bodies, our mindsets, our careers, our relationships, which are the four areas that I think we worry about most or pursue goals in, our overall life comes down to our happiness, and our happiness will always be dictated by our own actions. Now, happiness is going to be different for each and every person, isn't it? And that phrase is often thrown around, do what makes you happy. But I think the biggest issue with so many of us is that we are either subconsciously doing something that doesn't make us happy, very often down to what's called the sunk cost fallacy, or an unwillingness to change through fear, or we just don't really know what it is that's going to make us happy. So for each and every person, it's different, and it will also be different in what makes you happy on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and a yearly basis. But an amazing quote that I heard from Brian Keane is that happiness is the sea into which all rivers flow. So our careers, our bodies, our relationships, our goals, our physical health, our mental health, these are all rivers that flow into the sea of happiness, the overall thing that is going to make us feel happy, content, fulfilled, and purposeful. Many people use the word peace as happiness. So people believe if they can find peace, if they can have a peaceful life, then that will be a happy life. Now, you guys know with these trainings, I always try and tell them through my own story, because essentially it's the only story that I have. I don't have experience of anyone else's life, which is why I try not to be too preachy, and why I try to keep these trainings open, because what you have to understand, got a bit of oat stuck in my tooth, and what so many people don't understand is we have a preconception of what we think will make us happy, or very often other people tell us and lead us towards what they believe is going to make us happy. You see this time and time again when said son goes into the army because dad was in the army, or said son goes into medicine because dad was into medicine, or very often individuals follow the path of their parents or their friends because it's what's deemed normal. And very often, oh no, you don't want to do this, you need to do that, this will make you happy. And we're almost conditioned and told from a young age, people say do what makes you happy, but very often they push you towards doing what made them happy because that's the only happiness that they've experienced. So again, it's not coming from a bad place, but our parents believe that they know what will make us happy. Our friends believe they will know what will make us happy. Our partners and kids believe they know what will make us happy, when in fact, the only person that really knows is us. So we're going to look a little bit deeper into this, because I've not always had a strong mindset, not always been bulletproof, and I still fail a lot now, but I do believe I am fairly bulletproof. That's why this company is called Unbreakable. I've been through enough to have that as a belief now, which is something else we're going to come on to. So many of you have self-limiting belief, which is the stories you tell yourself about why you're not good enough, why you're not strong enough, why it's different for you, why people treat you in a certain way. But again, it all comes down to how we interpret this. So I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not clever enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not intelligent enough. And the point that I'm trying to get across here is we're going to come on to the difference between opinions and facts. So my facts are, I've survived losing my mother at 6 months old. I've survived breaking my neck, breaking my ankle, shattering my Achilles, failing a million times over, attempting to take my own life, car crashes, divorces, bereavement. They're facts. They all happened. And the other fact is that I'm still here. So to me, that says that is a borderline fact that I am unbreakable. But as I said, I haven't always been. I've made a lot of very, very bad decisions. You only need to Google me to find out some of them. But the actions that we take from this day onwards are what's important. Those decisions don't define me. Those struggles don't define me. Those bad decisions don't define me. The heartache that I've caused and been on the end of doesn't define me. What defines me and what will dictate my happiness is what I do, say, and be from this day onwards. Now, I actually consider myself lucky. I consider myself lucky that my mum died when I was 6 months old. I consider myself lucky that I broke my neck. I consider myself lucky that I experienced extreme depression through grief. I consider myself lucky that I got divorced, that I got locked up. All of these failures, disappointments, setbacks, I consider myself lucky for. So how so? Why would all of those things lucky? Because without them, I wouldn't have become unbreakable. I would still be weak. I wouldn't have built the strong mindset that I have now. I wouldn't have built the body that I have now. I wouldn't have built the career, the relationships. You wouldn't be listening to me right now without any of them. I would still be weak, and I would still be telling myself the same stories about how it was different for me, about how everyone let me down, whining about why did my dad leave me? Why did everyone have to die? Looking for the answer in the bottom of a bottle of vodka even. Sound like I've had a bottle of vodka. But without any of those things happening, without going through them, I'd probably still be sat in a room somewhere, going nowhere, moaning about how it's different for me. So all our previous failures, all our mess ups, it was very difficult not to swear on these videos. All the setbacks, all the disappointments, all the hurt, all the heartache, they were all seeds of future success. Imagine if I'd have loved my first job, married my first girlfriend, grown up in a happy family with 2.4 children, with a perfectly laid lawn and a white picket fence. Imagine if I tried to do one of these training videos without saying something like lawn instead of lawn. The video would never get filmed because it would never be perfect. So you wouldn't be listening to me. If you're old enough to remember Safeway's supermarkets, my first job was indeed stacking shelves and pushing trolleys in the car park at Safeways in Hitchin. So had all of those things been perfect at the first instance, I would still be working at Safeways, stacking shelves and pushing trolleys. But all of our strength is born from our struggle. So going through all of the hard situations and becoming stronger and finding strength in our struggle, strength in our story, strength in our past is how we seek out our dreams, because every failure was a lesson. And whilst it might have been difficult at the time, at least it taught me what not to do and how not to be moving forwards. Now, what else has been a struggle for me? Well, my entire life, I've struggled with any form of authority. I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like asking for help. I battled my mental health. to the level where I tried to take my own life twice. But eventually, I've started my own business. And I'm impacting thousands of lives, not just in the UK, but globally. Through the internet, through videos, through these coachings, you guys watching this, I've saved lives. I've helped people recover from suicide, from rehab, from the deepest, darkest mental holes they ever imagined. But had I not been through that myself, I wouldn't have got to help them. I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. And I wouldn't be doing a career that doesn't even feel like work. I'm recording this right now at 8:56 on Sunday night. Who in their right mind is working at 8:56 on a Sunday night? Well, I am, because I'm not working. I'm filming a video that I hope will have an impact on you when you're watching this at some point tomorrow morning. I owe all of my current life to my previous failures, to my darkness. And a quote that I love is that your branches can't reach out to heaven if your roots haven't been down to hell. So this foundation of hitting rock bottom, we discussed this last week, is the first step in moving forward. We use the stock market as an example. After every crash, there is always a rise. We can't be at the top all the time, and we'll rarely get to the top without a crash. Every setback will make you stronger. Every struggle will make you stronger. Every injury will make you stronger. Every bad day will make you tougher, as long as you come through it and you're willing to fight and not give up. So we're going to dig deeper into this now, because happiness is our key metric of success. And so many people still get this so wrong. It's not a number. It's not a place. It's not a destination. It's not a Range Rover. It's not a house. It's not a holiday in the Maldives. It's not a model wife. It's none of those things. It's a feeling. You can have your dream house, dream car, dream man, dream woman, dream holiday, dream career, dream bank account, dream everything. But if you're not happy, none of those things will make you feel better. Some of the most beautiful, richest people I know are the most miserable. Spent thousands on cosmetic surgery, millions on cars and houses and holidays, and they are miserable as sin. That's still no F-bombs. I think you all know which word I was looking to drop there. So I've learned this because I've lived through it. Had the cars, I've had the house, had the careers, had the fame, had the fortune, lost it all, started to make it again. But it never made me happy. And it still doesn't. And I've had a very real example of this recently. Sat in it right now, recording this video. So this is called the fallacy of I'll be happy when. And if you find yourself saying it, removing that phrase from your life could be one of the single most life-changing things you do. Because the only thing you'll be happy when is when you are enjoying the journey and the person that you are becoming, when you are moving towards what you have firmly uncovered that you really want. So I'd never really questioned this until the last few months. And that's crazy, right? And you might look at me, he's really got his shit together. But I'd never really questioned the striving for fame, likes, attention, profile, earnings, cars, houses, DJing on the biggest stages, constantly thriving to be the best, thriving to be number one, trying to prove myself. And it was all very much, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I earn X. I'll be happy when I get that car. I'll be happy when I get that house. Exactly what I've said before. But not realizing or knowing if you're not happy on the journey, then you'll never be happy when you reach the goal. And that's so true. And I urge each of one of you to say at home, if you are not happy doing what you're doing and enjoying becoming who you are on the way to getting what it is you want, then you're climbing the wrong mountain. Because happiness is a feeling and a journey. It's not a destination. So something you could do right today with your careers, your relationships, your bodies, your fitness goals, anything you're working towards, is start by asking yourself, am I enjoying what I'm doing to move towards this goal? And what I'm going to finish on today is such a true analogy that is going to make you realize, wow, did I seem particularly devastated when I didn't reach the 100 miles in 24 hours? Of course, I was a little bit on the day. That was more physical exhaustion. I was back coaching you guys on Monday morning. New plan in place. Didn't really affect me. Didn't really bother me. I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me at all, but the type of words that you hear people say, broken, distraught, devastated, gutted. Look at the language. Why do you feel that way? Why are you so devastated? Because you were completely attached to the outcome. I'm sorry if this is you. I don't think it's anyone that's currently in this group, but some of the check-in responses are hilarious. When a human has worked for 7 days and the scales didn't change on Sunday. Well, I'm absolutely devastated, gutted, fuming over a number that didn't change. The expectation of what you had what you were going to get in return for your hard work didn't change. Can you see now why you might be unhappy? Because you weren't even in charge of it. You couldn't control that outcome. So you'd fixated your entire happiness on a thing happening that you weren't in charge of. Quickest way to get burned. That and expecting you from other people and putting your happiness in the hands of other people. It's not their responsibility, it's yours. And their responsibility, their happiness also isn't your responsibility, it's theirs. So we need to have total clarity, first of all, about where we want to go, but then not obsess about it. Because remember, we can't hit a target that we can't see. You can't call the taxi and not tell him where you want to go. But what I need you to get clear on is getting clear on that target before we start to work backwards. Because it doesn't matter how high you climb any mountain. You could get to the top of your career as a singer and then commit suicide. How many singers has that happened to? Why? Because their ladder wasn't up against the right wall. They clearly weren't happy and fulfilled doing what they were doing, or they wouldn't have chosen to end their own lives. They clearly didn't love the industry that they were in. Don't believe it's all just mental health battles. I believe they climbed to the top of a place they didn't want to be, but not at any point had they stopped and said, am I enjoying this? Is this fulfilling me? Am I going to bed with a heart that's full every night? Do I feel happy? No, they just kept on chasing the fame, the money, the status, without any thought as to whether they were truly enjoying, peaceful, happy, and fulfilled doing what they were doing. And they clearly weren't, or they wouldn't have done it. So we're going to work very deeply on goal setting on next week's training. I'm going to go deeply into that. So I'm not going to go on for that too much today, but you have to remember, if you're not enjoying your career, you're in the wrong career. If you're not enjoying your relationship, you're in the wrong relationship. If you're not enjoying exercise, you're doing the wrong form of exercise. So this brings us on to the biggest thing that stops you changing, which is called the sunk cost fallacy. Again, I experienced this heavily. I put in the region of 50, 60,000 pounds into my music production career. 2019 to 2021, not that long ago, right? Spending in the region of about £5,000 a month. True story. Chasing something that I didn't really want to do. Got to a level where I needed to be making music, not just playing music, to get to the next level. So I was working with various engineers, producers, vocalists. They all cost a lot of money, engineers. And I was trying to do something that I didn't like to get to the place where I wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a top DJ. I don't really enjoy producing. That said, I'm not bad at it either. But it would have been so easy, even though I wasn't enjoying it, to go, Jesus, I can't stop with this now. I've already put 60 grand in. Got to keep going. I'm not enjoying it. I've got to keep going because of what I put in. This is why people stay in relationships that they're unhappy, because they've been in it 10 years. It's why they stay in careers, because they've been in the career 10 years. Because we get lost on what we've put in. Now, it was better to have nothing and be at the bottom of the right ladder than have everything and be at the top of the wrong ladder. This is the celebrities and the pop stars that kill themselves. They're at the top of the wrong ladder. So you will think you can't change careers because of the amount of time you put into it. Self-limiting belief. You can't change relationships because you'll never find anyone else. Self-limiting belief. You'll never lose body fat because you've always been big. Self-limiting belief. Not facts, opinions. Rubbish. Chatting SH1T in one's head. So we often do this. This is the classic person on a fruit machine. Rather than putting £10 coins in, not getting one back, and realizing now would be a really good time to walk away before it gets too much dangerous and unhappy, they keep putting more and more money into the fruit machine. Why? Because of what they've already put in. Doesn't matter that they're losing more and more money with every pound. This is why some businesses go pop, because the person won't give up. It's not profitable. It's not making, oh yeah, but I've put 2 years worth of work into this, but it's not working. It's not going to suddenly start working because of the 2 years that you've put in. If your relationship is over, it's not going to suddenly get better just because you put 5 years into it. If you hate your job, you're not suddenly just going to start enjoying it because you get a promotion and because you've been there 10 years. So we feel there's too much to lose, right? Can't change which mountain I'm climbing. I've been climbing this mountain far too long and I can almost see the top. But you're not going to be happy at the top. So there's no point continuing climbing. It's better to go back to the bottom and be on a journey that you're enjoying to move to a place where you want to be, which you may have to find. Because when we start to feel that we can't stop or leave something because we put too much in, that is simply an opinion. Just like, I'm not clever enough, I'm not big enough, I could never do that. That's an opinion. It's not a fact, it's an internal opinion. What fact is there that you can't change jobs and get one that you'd enjoy more? There isn't one. It's your opinion. What facts are there that you'll never find anyone else and be happy? There aren't. Thousands of people have. It's an opinion. What facts are there that you can't lose weight? None. It's an opinion, because nobody, not me, you, or anyone else watching this, defies the scientific law of energy balance. So it's often related to fear of change. It's not a fact, it's fear of change. So everything we see is not a fact. It's a perspective. Things that we see are a perspective. Like the story I told last week that Rob Blackburn shared with me about one guy sees a bird of prey dive down and catch a fish or a rabbit or whatever else, and sees it as the most amazing, privileged piece of nature that he'll never get to see again, a truly magical moment. The next guy sees it as a bird murdering a fish. What about the poor fish? That fish had a life too. That bird's just murdered it. Perspective, opinions, not facts. And everything we hear, everything we see is a perspective. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a truth. So if you jump out of an aeroplane without a parachute, due to the law of gravity, you're going to die. If you consistently eat less calories, burn more calories than you consume, you will reduce body fat based on the scientific law of energy balance. That's a fact, not an opinion. When you tell yourself you're not good enough, you're not clever enough, you're not tall enough, that nobody loves you, that you're not respected, those are not facts. Some people tell themselves they'll never be happy. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. And if one thing you take out of today's training that will change your life, it will be to start to have a radar in your own head when you can differentiate the difference between opinions and facts. I could never run for 50 miles. Opinion, not a fact. I couldn't run for 2 miles when I started running. Each and every one of you can. The fact that I have is real and actual proof that it's achievable. You just have to try for the next 4 years, like I did. Anyone who's done anything that you want to do didn't do it through natural talent. Anyone who is further along in life than you didn't do it because they were gifted. Anyone who is better at anything than you, who has they have done it for longer, or they've worked harder. That's it. That's a fact. Every black belt is just a white belt that refused to give up. And a brown belt isn't any better than a white belt. He's just been doing it longer and worked harder and not given up every time it got tough. So once we can distinguish between opinions and facts, you will go to new levels of the game. I don't think that person likes me. Opinion. People always let me down. Opinion. Don't think she loves me anymore. Opinion. So I don't know what's going to make you truly happy. You have to find that out. And you might get that from the next training and goal setting. But I do know several things that are going to make you miserable. So the first one is never questioning these self-limiting beliefs. Never looking at them objectively. Never actually saying, is this shit that I keep telling myself true? Or am I just talking rubbish in my own head? Another one is constantly comparing yourself to others and thinking you're lesser. I could never be a black belt. Of course you can. He's just tried harder for longer. Comparison can be a great source of inspiration, but it can also be the thief of all joy. So I like comparing myself to Paul Moore because he's a very real example of what I can achieve if I keep working long enough. He's about 6-7 years ahead of me. But he gives me proof that if he can do it, I can do it. But if I keep comparing myself to where I'm at now versus where he's at now, then I'm always going to feel like I'm not clever enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not hardworking enough. It's different for me because there's a 7-year gap. Thinking you're not good enough alone is something that's going to make you miserable because it's not true. It's an opinion, not a fact. But most of all, climbing the wrong mountain is what will make you unhappy. Doing something that you don't like to get somewhere you think you want to be. So again, question yourself, am I enjoying what I'm doing? Am I working towards a goal that I really want? Another one is an unwillingness to change. Most people want to have a different experience, a different life, whilst not doing any different things. Good luck with that, because it won't happen. Same decisions, same thoughts, same opinions, same beliefs, same actions, same experience of life, same results. I've said this before. Show me your plans for this week, and I'll show you your results on Sunday. This month, this year. Show me your actions. Show me what you do every day, and I'll show you who you're going to become. But this unwillingness to change, again, comes into very often that it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Nothing worth having is ever easy. And the final one is making decisions based on the opinions of others. Like I said earlier, people that get jobs to make their parents happy. Ooh, father's never run a business in his own life. Don't start a business, Jack. It's really risky. You don't want to do that. You want to get a nice, steady 9 to 5, Jack. Safe. Should be married by the time you're 25. Couple of kids. 3-bed semi on the same road as us. Safe. Make sure you get a pension. Don't take risks. Be careful. And then Jack says the same to his kids. Be careful. Be safe. I'm not saying we shouldn't be careful or safe. But again, we end up doing things to fit in. I know guys and ladies who desperately want to start their own businesses, but they won't because their partner doesn't want them to. They think it's too risky. That is a surefire way to be miserable. Base your decisions on the opinions and beliefs of others. So, moving on a little bit further. And this will be when your self-limiting beliefs really get triggered. And you might say it's easy for you, Lee, because you've just found what you love. The first 37 years weren't easy, trust me. If your job is just a vehicle to earn money and get things, I don't believe you will ever be happy. If you are in a relationship because you feel you need to be in one and you don't like being alone, or that person brings something to the table that you don't have, I don't believe you will ever be happy, because that's a exchange, not a connection. And you spend over half of your life at work. And as we've said, things won't make you happy. It's not a destination. It's a journey. It's a feeling. So if you find yourself saying things like, I just live for the weekend, you're not going to live a happy life. It's just less than 25%. If you find yourself saying, I just need to get through this week, I just need to earn this amount and then I can have that, you'll never be happy. Find what you love and you'll never work another day in your life. Because we can't spend 80% of our life doing something we hate to have 20% doing something that we love. Because we'll always try and escape the other 80%, plaster over the cracks with material things. Now, this is why people who are miserable need to find a career that they don't need to escape from. Because when you find a career that gives you as much happiness as the weekend, that gives you as much happy and escapism as the holiday, then nothing in life will ever make you happier. I firmly believe this, and I've been through, I've earned more money doing other things than doing what I do now. But they didn't make me happy. Having a club didn't make me happy. And you can only buy so many things before you've bought all the things. And we all know things don't make you happy. You get the new car within 10 minutes. It's just what gets you to and from work. So this will be the point when you will maybe thinking, it's easy for you, Lee, though. You found what you love. You did this thing that you loved, and then you managed to turn it into a career. Well, you can too. It's not the fact that you can't turn it into a career. It's the fact that you haven't really found the thing that you love. Look at my friend Ben. He goes carp fishing for a career. He goes fishing. What most people pay money to do at the weekend, he gets paid to go fishing because he's thought, I love carp fishing. How can I get good enough at carp fishing that people will pay me to do it as a job? And now he has. So the most basic of hobbies can be turned into, anything can be turned into a career, if you're willing to find what it is and look hard enough. There's people that love snowboarding, but have never thought, what if I actually worked hard enough to become a snowboard instructor? I'd get to snowboard all day, every day, the thing that I love most in the world, and get paid. The opportunity is there. Why we're not seeing it is because of the same closed mindset that we were talking about. Like I said, recorded this at 9 o'clock, gone 22 minutes past 9 on Sunday. Because when you truly love something and you love doing it, and you decide to go for it, it will gravitate towards you. But this isn't just about careers. You may love your job, but you're massively overweight. You may be massively overweight, but you love your job. You may have an amazing body, but hate your career. You may have an amazing body and an amazing career, but you've got a horrifically toxic relationship with your husband or wife. You have to get them all right to find happiness, but you have to get clear on exactly what it is you want, how you want your body to look, how you want your career to look, how you want your life to look, how you want your relationship to look. Because if you don't, you'll always be lost, because you don't know where you're going because you've not defined it. And as I said, we'll come on to this more in the goal setting session. But it all starts with creating a vision. But then now we're going to come on to why just creating a vision isn't enough, which is going to blow your mind. Because all I've talked about is creating a vision, getting clear on where we're going, writing a roadmap to achieve it, make sure we stay on track. We have to make sure it's the right destination. And they weren't bad, my past careers. Running clubs were great, but it didn't make me jump out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. Didn't make me want to film live videos about club promoting at 9:35 on a 9:24, sorry, on a Sunday night. So when you do what you love, you'll probably end up making more money than the more money you were going to make doing the thing that you didn't love, because you'll work longer, you'll work harder, you'll be more passionate. You'll have more purpose, you'll have more focus, your energy will be different. Everything in your life will be different. But overall, money doesn't make you happy anyway. It just allows you to buy more things. And things don't make you happy. We only need things when we're not happy to make us happy. This is internal happiness versus external happiness. Yes, your Louboutins, your Rolex, your Range Rover, or your dream home might make you very happy. Not long term, short term fix. So if you don't know what it is you want to do, and you feel you have no passion, you feel you have no idea what this thing is, this career, this purpose, then that's just another self-limiting belief. People say, I don't really have any hobbies, me. I don't really enjoy anything. I'm not really passionate about anything. Self-limiting belief. You are, you just haven't looked hard enough. You haven't asked enough questions, or you've got stuck in the sunk cost fallacy of I'll be happy when. So the simplest reframe to use on this is to change. I hear people say this all the time. It breaks my heart. I can't do that. I could never do that. Change that to how can I do that? Do you know how many times I was told there was no money in personal training, no money in fitness? You'll never make it in that career. Got told I'd never make it as a DJ. This wasn't even my self-limiting beliefs. This was other people pushing their self-limiting beliefs onto me. That's how dangerous it is. This is what parents do, spouses, friends. You'll never be able to do that. And you have to override it. So how can I? How can I serve the world? How can I turn my passion into a career? If I don't know what my passion is, how can I find my passion? We've got to be willing to look. Find what's important to you. Find what makes you happy and do that. It's not up to anyone else's opinions. So if you want some further help on understanding this, here is an incredible book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm going to say it. Kawasaki. Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know. Doesn't matter, does it? And it teaches you about how we see the richest people, the most affluent people, the most successful people as the happiest. And they're very often not, because their happiness is misguided and the ladder's always been up against the wall. This is why you'll also see some people who sweep roads and they whistle all the way to work because they're happy doing what they're doing. So we are what we repeatedly do on a daily basis. Show me your habits, show me your planner, show me your task tracker for everything you do each and every day, and I will 100% show you your results because it's all written out. But what other questions have we not been asking? Think deeply into your own life today. What areas am I not happy in? But what questions am I not asking in those areas? Or have I just become the circumstantial procrastinator that's just settling on autopilot, drifting through life? No self-limiting belief. This is just the way my life's meant to be. Not having that. Your life is the way you create it. And if you think any different, that's another self-limiting belief. It won't be easy. You can't just find your passion and it's all just going to red carpet out in front of you. We have to do the work. Day in, day out, whatever it takes. Because how you do something is how you do everything. I've seen this as a huge... Can't think of the word. Still can't think of the word. I'm going to say trend. I don't mean trend. But people who work hard in their careers get better results in the gym. People who hate their jobs, try and get through the day doing as little as possible, get to the weekend, generally tend to be fat and overweight and not get results, or start the plan and just quit. Because how we do something is how we do everything. So if you work hard in your career, you work hard on your relationships, you work hard on your mental and physical health, or you don't, will make a big difference, because it's not easy. But how we do something is how we do everything. Remember that. And it will transpire across all areas. Now, this is the big one. This is the one that I'm really coming towards now, personally. The happiness and the fulfillment lies in who you become on the journey, not reaching the destination, not getting the body, not getting the career, not getting the man, not getting the woman, not getting the paycheck, the car. The journey towards your dream body will not come from attaining the goal. This is why you get so pissed off when the scales don't say what they want, or your checking photos don't, because the only thing you're focused on is the end result. Fall in love with the process, not the prize. Fall in love with the journey, not the outcome, because success is a feeling, not a number. Wealth is a feeling, not a number. Health is a feeling, not a number. So when we start to focus on what it is we need to do each day, that's why I've created the planner, and the steps to move towards the goal, not the goal, that is when you will really move forward. And ask yourself daily, though. So it seems a little bit contradictory here. So Lee's saying, well, I need to have a firm goal of where I want to go, but I need to not be focused on the goal. Correct. We have to have the big picture. We have to know the destination, but we can't focus just on getting there, because if we focus on getting there, we won't be enjoying the journey, which is why we have to keep asking ourselves back, am I enjoying this? And I'll come on to this now. Had I not been enjoying the training to run the 100 miles, I would have had no qualms in quitting halfway through and saying, guys, do you know what? I made a mistake. I'm not going to battle through doing something I don't enjoy just because I've said I'll do it on social media. I've got more integrity than that. The only reason I would be continuing to do something I'm not enjoying would be the fear of other people's opinions when I told them I wasn't doing it. Again, what was one of the biggest steps to misery? Doing things based on the opinions of others. So ask yourself daily, whatever you're doing, am I enjoying this? Am I happy? Am I fulfilled? If not, maybe you need to re-evaluate it. So this is why failing the run didn't bother me. I'm loving the journey. I'm loving training for the next one already. I'm loving the challenge. I'm loving how it's making me mentally stronger, physically fitter. I can eat 3 Rice Krispie squares on a Sunday night and not get fat. It's building relationships and friendships with people. It's inspiring people. It's impacting people. The 101 miles in 24 hours isn't really a thing anymore. Not to me. It's just another attempt. If I smash it, great. If I don't, I'll do it again. Because I'm enjoying the journey. This is why it didn't break me. And what would have happened had I smashed it? We've used this example again, Tony Bellew, full-blown depression after becoming world champion. Sometimes actually hitting the goal can be the worst thing for some people. You've heard the phrase, did this and then the world came crashing down. Probably because they weren't enjoying the journey, because otherwise the journey would have continued. If I wasn't enjoying the journey to 101 miles, what would I have done when I failed? Quit. Devastated. Put all that work into them runs and then failed. In fact, I set the new date the evening afterwards. First thing I said to Nat when we got home, I'm going to do it again. She said something along the lines of, are you off your tits? How many painkillers have you had? Are you on drugs? But I enjoyed the process. not attached to the outcome. So the other thing is, I'm then focused on who I'm becoming as part of the journey, not who I'm going to be when I get there. I'm not going to be a different man it's not going to be the running the 100 miles that's going to make me a different man. It's what I've gone through to get there that's going to make me a different man. But then again, I have to keep raising the bar. So I've already set the new challenge. Haven't completed the last one yet. The next challenge after this is 7 marathons in 7 days. So this goal is just one more step towards who I'm becoming, not a destination. And the reason why is because my ladder's against the right wall. I'm climbing the right mountain. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. So whether I reach the destination or not has kind of just dissipated. Don't get me wrong, I'll be buzzing when I smash it. But it's not going to make or break me. It's not the difference between me carrying on going or stopping. So this is where I want you guys to get to today. Have the goal of the dream body, the dream life, the dream wife, the dream career, the house, the car. Whatever it is that you want, get clear and have that goal, because we cannot hit a goal that we can't see. But also understand this. We have to be focused on enjoying the journey to get there. Like I said, focusing on the process, not the prize. Enjoying the journey, not the outcome. Because if it just becomes all about the outcome and we're not enjoying what we're doing to get there, I almost guarantee you that you're climbing the wrong mountain, that your ladder's up against the wrong wall. And then what will happen is when you smash the goal and get to the top, you'll be, oh, what next? We see it in dieting, don't we? Classic yo-yo. Gets thin, hits goal, photo for Facebook. Looks mint on holiday, gets some sexy bikini pictures. Comes back, gets fat again for 3 months before repeating the whole process, because they don't enjoy the process. It's all just about the picture, about other people seeing them on holiday in the bikini, not about who they are becoming, moving towards getting the body that they want, the confidence they're building, the belief, the motivation, the fact that they're healthier and they feel better. That's dissipated again. It's all just become about getting the photo, getting the likes, getting the body, getting the paycheck, getting the car. And remember this, there is no happy end to an unhappy journey. Guys, have an amazing day.